What is going on, everybody? What is going on, the Catch fam? It is Steven here, and in today's stream, we're just gonna be doing a little hangout, little Q&A, little playoffs, little conference championship, go over these games a little bit more, talk about some fantasy too. We talked a lot about the Chiefs Bengals game as well as that Rams 49ers game yesterday. So today we'll be diving in some other stuff too, but man, today, just apologize ahead of time. Feeling a little bit under the weather. So, definitely relying on the chat today for some energy, for some support. Um, but on the news too, I mean, just kind of having a little bit more time to marinate on, how we saw the Sean Payton thing unfold a little bit more with more speculation coming out, obviously, in the media today. A little bit more of me diving into this Aaron Rodgers kind of retirement or leaving the team news as well. One thing that I did, find pretty interesting is when I took a little bit more time looking at that Pat McAfee interview. The fact that he talked about maybe doing it in Indianapolis, coming in there into Indy to do it on Pat McAfee's show to say where he was going to go or what he was going to do. I thought that was pretty cool. Not only just like, I thought that was a dope move for Pat McAfee, but does get me a little excited that maybe there is a little bit more of a chance he ends up in Indy. But I know that's a little bit of a false optimism, right? I know I can't get too excited. Got to hold on to hope to some degree, but more than likely we're going to have Carson Wentz at quarterback. What's going on, Thrift Shop Gaming? What's going on, Ronald? Love to see you guys in here. I love to see Ronald up in the building. What's going on, brother? How you doing, my man? How was your day so far? Mine was interesting. I can't wait to get into movies with you tonight. Gonna try to wait a little bit. Try to get Jerry up in here too. Try to get some other guys in the chat. I want to break down that poll that I dropped last night and kind of talk about what actors would be kind of cool, football players or cool sports players, and just thinking about Will Ferrell, who he won that poll by a landslide, but it was pretty funny. Just that he did win by that much, and I always point to like Semi Pro and is also his ice skating movie as kind of being those clear examples of his athleticism. Um, can't really complain. That's good, man. That's good. We're getting closer to the weekend, brother. I mean, hey, Wednesday now, so getting closer to Friday. That's always good. We got we got some football games coming up here. We're gonna be dropping the mock draft, a Bucky Brooks mock draft, sometime this week. Might just be a video. Don't know if it's gonna be a stream or not, but a little bit more insight into kind of what I'm thinking about these college prospects. Senior Bowl's dropping too. Gonna get into that a little bit later today in the stream, but um, Senior Bowl is like one of my favorite times of the year. So definitely, Ronald, you should check that out. It's on NFL Network, starting the 31st. The game, well, you want to watch the practices if you can, but the game itself is on the 5th, I believe, and that's fun. That is a good time. I actually want to see. I want to see John. Maybe if you're able to do this too next year, we should think about this. But next year, I'm trying to go to the Senior Bowl. Trying to go to the Senior Bowl. It's in Mobile, Alabama. The tickets are so cheap. You get access to these players. It's pretty dope. I think it'd be fun. Plus, who knows? Maybe we could do a little catch interview with these guys. That'd be pretty sweet. Let's see here. Saints are gonna rebuild. Who's gonna get cut? Traded? Yeah, I mean, they kind of have to, right? I mean, with Sean Payton kind of saying that he's done, he's out the door, you got to expect that they're going to be doing a rebuild. One thing that I was thinking about instantly was Alvin Kamara. You know, we still had him as a first round talent for fantasy. Not too sure we can still say that confidently about Alvin Kamara. I think Sean Payton, after Drew Brees left, we saw him kind of drop down a little bit in terms of like his output. But Sean Payton was kind of like that last beacon of like, we need to find ways to get this guy the ball. We need to find creative ways to have like give him a chance, right? Not just have him running into defensive linemen or running into the backs of his own line. So that's probably the biggest takeaway as well, fantasy wise, from that Sean Payton news. John Ronald, let me know what you think about that one too. Don't disagree. Ingram's probably out of here. Would not. Yeah, that was kind of a weird one, anyways. Not really too sure his impact will kind of be much felt either. I mean, they've got a couple other young backs in the team that I think will complement his role, but yeah, Mark Ingram, he's not much of a ball player anymore. I mean, it's kind of interesting to me that he got a job and Todd Gurley did this season. Um, I mean, Mark Ingram was on a team all season long. No hate on Mark Ingram. I mean, he's a good back. He's had a great career. Um, but Todd Gurley, I mean, I get it, the knee issues, but will he get a chance maybe with a full year of rest to kind of have a bounce back? Who knows? Who knows? Ronald, I have zero chance of winning the playoff challenge by 13 seconds. Yeah, actually, that's something I wanted to bring up later tonight as well, is going over my playoff challenge roster, who I'm going to be playing, and getting your thoughts too on who we should be rolling with as well. Let's see here. I need to check my lineup at Ronald. Yeah, John, check it out, dude, because I'm gonna try to break it down here in a little bit. Try to break down everybody's rosters if I can. But I'm nervous about the running back position. Right now, I've got no exposure to the 49ers, so a little nervous about that. Max, what's up, brother? How you doing, my guy? Appreciate you coming out here, giving some support, giving some love. We'll be having good conversations tonight. Be hanging out with you guys for at least an hour. CBS drafted him third in mock drafts, believe it or not, and the Smitty one has him going like 12th. Dude, yeah, I mean, like he goes early, right? Like it's weird. I mean, it's not totally weird the fact that it's Alvin Kamara going in a top 5, but there's just gonna be so much talent there, and the running back position in general is so interesting because if you look at it year over year, especially over the past few years, it's just being devalued every year. Like we're seeing it be more that not necessarily zero RB, but like late RB, heavy wide receivers early is much more of a better strategy. And it feels like Alvin Kamara, Zeke Elliott, maybe another like Saquon Barkley. Maybe you can think of another back like Aaron Jones, potentially with Aaron Rodgers, his dilemma kind of shaken out. I think you're going to have a little bit of a too rich of too rich of a draft pick because of the name and not as much for the underlying fundamentals of what that guy is going to do for you. I think those are going to be, a few guys that are super overvalued in draft picks or draft status next year. Wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people got disappointed with them next season. And I love Alvin Kamara too. I mean, I love Alvin Kamara. I love Aaron Jones. But man, if these guys lose like the main pillars of what feeds them the rock and what puts them in good spots and good opportunities, we can't lose sight of the fact that this is a team game, right? And fantasy, while it is individual based, it is fueled by, the rest of the guys on the line of scrimmage, who's throwing them the rock, all sorts. So a little concern there. Kamara's still a first rounder. Yeah, I don't think he's not a first rounder per se, but I mean, taking him in the top 5, a little interesting, I think Kamara's who they build around at first. Yeah, I mean, you got to build around Kamara. He's the only guy really there for sure. I mean, they're hoping Michael Thomas comes back. With Sean Payton now being out too, they were in that kind of market for a quarterback, I think, in this draft, even though the quarterbacks are not that great. But with this kind of being a clear rebuild now, I don't think they do take a quarterback. I think this is going to change up kind of my perspective on their draft, change up what I think they do in terms of, when I'm putting these mock drafts together, because if I'm the Saints and I look at this season as a complete rebuild, there's no reason to go out and draft a guy with a pretty good draft pick in the first round who is like not seen as a dynamic player, because none of these quarterbacks coming out this year are like dynamic studs that are going to change your franchise. At least that's not what they're being presented as yet, right? I mean, a few of these guys are going to be having their chance in Senior Bowl, and they'll have the whole off season kind of raise their stock. But um, I think it makes more sense now to let this salary cap situation get better. Um, Kind of maybe have a bad year, and build around Kamara, like you guys said, build around Michael Thomas if he comes back. Because who knows? Maybe Michael Thomas didn't really bang with Sean Payton, so maybe this is better for for Michael Thomas coming back. You still got a couple good defensive pieces there. I mean, they gotta keep Marshawn Lattimore. You can't let him go. I mean, I think the one of the biggest things too is this really narrowed the sights on a guy on the Broncos landing a team like, or landing a guy like Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, because I thought the Saints were going to do anything they possibly could. I thought they were going to lever up even more and make a real bid for a guy like A-Rod and or Russell Wilson even too. I think that would have been a beautiful pair. Obviously, that's not gonna be the case anymore. So, the teams looking for that big free agent quarterback, even smaller now. Speaking of teams that are no longer in that free agent quarterback market. One of the guys they crossed off, new Giants GM, came out and basically put a stomping to the quarterback, concerns and what they might do. They said that they're not going to be trading for Deshaun Watson. Plan is to build around Daniel Jones. So I think it hits on the head a little bit to what I was saying earlier that this draft isn't really a draft you want to go out and take a quarterback. I don't think any of these quarterbacks really are that much better than a Daniel Jones at face level. Um, and Deshaun Watson, you know, he kind of just doesn't want any part of that, which I don't blame him. I mean, there are a lot of strings that go attached to that. Um, but it's good to see. It adds a little bit more clarity, a little bit more direction. I think one of the worst things a GM or front office or a team can do is add doubt into their quarterback ahead of a season or even during the season. The Miami Dolphins did that all year long, and I don't think that helped at all. I mean, you got teammates coming out left and right, kind of dissing Tua, and well, it's deserved or not. I don't think that helped, right? The front office not backing him all season. Jameis gonna lead the Saints to the Super Bowl. They don't need Sean. Yeah, dude, it's actually pretty funny. I tried to reenact that experience and tried to have that happen in a Madden season, and I couldn't even do it in Madden. So I don't know if that's gonna work out, but I would love that, dude. Jameis comes back in here, leads the New Orleans Saints to a Super Bowl. That would be epic. That'd be very epic. I'm a Saints fan. I was shocked. I thought it was just rumors. Yeah, man, I was shocked too. I mean, I'm a fan of Sean Payton. I'm a fan of the Saints. They're not like my team per se, but I do love the Saints. I love kind of what they've always been and what they've always I love the fact that they play for their city. Probably more than any other team. I mean, the Packers are up there too, obviously. Um, but whenever I think of Sean Payton, I just think of, Katrina and the Super Bowl at that time period too, and just how they kind of rallied around that team. And Sean Payton, Drew Brees were really the catalyst to kind of holding that, or honestly holding that city together. I mean, sometimes you see that when crisis is like that, people kind of hold on to things like sports or musicians or whatever, and that it's pretty funny. But like Lil Wayne was really big back then for the city, and the Saints were. So yeah, Sean Payton, shout out. Isn't there a movie about Sean Payton coming out or something, or his son, like a comedy? Wait, Doug Hefner is playing him, probably why he retired. Adam, wait, what? Is that serious? I saw some stupid ass meme about like next coach coming in. They're really making a movie off of Sean Payton. That makes like no sense. What the hell? That's amazing. Oh man. Still got JT Eckler, Henry, Mixon, Cook, Najee over him. Yeah, I mean, dude, I think one guy that you list right there, John, is Cook. And I think that's a guy that people maybe are sleeping on to a certain extent, and they shouldn't. And Dalvin Cook like doesn't deserve the hate. I get it. The injuries are so alarming. But he did come out and say, like, and this is one of the first times I can remember him coming out and saying that he's going to invest a lot in himself this offseason, his body. He's going to try to get himself right, maybe beef up a little bit. It's interesting too because he's got a little brother coming in, James Cook from Georgia, If you guys watched any of kind of the late season games from Georgia, that dude is like a mini Dalvin Cook. I mean, he's a great pass catching back, very fast, a little bit lighter frame than Dalvin Cook, but I love him. And I think it just kind of I mean, like when I think of Dalvin, when I think of his little brother James, I mean, these guys are really, really explosive players. And Dalvin especially. I mean, pretty sure Dalvin ran like a 4.6 coming out of FSU. But that guy, I don't know if there's a faster back when you watch him like play the game. Like the way he can just like what he did to what was it, Green Bay, when he just like went bananas and he came back and basically ruined everybody's game because they had like either Alexander Madison starting or they had Dalvin Cook on their bench, right? And then he came in there, had like 40 points, changed everybody's terms of lineups. I mean, I remember one guy actually in our John and I's personal league. He got into the playoffs because of that game, right? So Dalvin Cook is an absolute game changer, and I'm looking to target him for sure next season if he's available. If he sneaks past that top four. Horrible quarterback year. Yeah, real bad. It reminds me of like a Christian Ponder draft season. Shout out Christian Ponder, the old Minnesota Viking. I think he went to the Carolina Panthers too. We have that from year to year, right? We have these, it's honestly been kind of strong quarterback draft classes recently, but every once in a while we have kind of a stinker at the quarterback draft class, which maybe levels out the playing field a little bit. I mean, we've had some really rich talent come out. Next season, I think we're going to have some really good guys too come out, like a Bryce Young from Alabama. But yeah, I mean, right now we just got to deal with what we got. We got to deal with what we got. We got basically a lower value Baker Mayfield coming out of North Carolina and Sam Howell. I think that's like one of the more exciting quarterbacks coming out this season. Jameis Winston to the moon. Yep, it's a dodgy coin. What's that currency that you tried to get me onto? Shibu to the moon. Yeah, that lost me a good chunk of change. Or James Winston to the moon, right? Wilson will be an Eagle. Who knows, man? I don't know what the Eagles do. I mean, they definitely have the draft capital to move on. That's what's going to be so interesting about this season and this offseason in particular is that, like, for the first time, I think you're seeing kind of a perfect mesh and perfect blend of the teams that want a quarterback are loaded up and ready for a quarterback. Like, they can make that move. And these quarterbacks that have been wanting out for maybe a year or two and been hitting it are really at that table and want to be moved, right? For a while, it's been kind of building on one side, meaning the quarterbacks have been leaking stuff, rumors have been flying, media has been speculating. And over the course, right, in the background, the front office, the GMs, the head coaches, right, players are being moved, salary caps being freed up, draft picks are being acquired, right? All for this season. I really feel like it. I really feel like there's going to be some big time moves that happen in this offseason. And I really hope it's not just like a Jimmy Garoppolo that gets moved. I really hope it's a guy like a Russell Wilson or an A-Rod just to shake the game up a little bit, shift the power dynamic a little bit. Shit with Tom Brady maybe leaving. That obviously changes the entire framework and kind of mindset of competitors in the NFC. I mean, he has a LeBron James effect, right? I mean, you see in the NBA, LeBron James, when he was really dominant in the Eastern Conference, I mean, a lot of teams just kind of sacrifice seasons. Like they didn't even really shift out the best. They kind of put into a tank mindset. I think you saw some of that in the playoffs in the NFL when Tom Brady was in that conference or division. I mean, it's no surprise that the AFC East was terrible for so long. The NFC South, I think they've got a real chance here. Young, healthy Carolina Panthers team with an improvement at quarterback could really be dynamic. Saints are probably in a rebuild here. Falcons are in a rebuild, but yeah, that division could actually get pretty shitty pretty quickly if Tom Brady left. It would be pretty interesting to see what this Bucs team would be like without Tom Brady. I've actually thought about doing a Madden season with them. With Kyle Trask, the old Florida quarterback. 1777 to the moon, $10 shoes. What's up, 1777 Memorabilia? How you doing, my guy? How are you doing? What's shaking? What is shaking? So we got Wilson, Rogers, Jimmy G. Who else may be moving around? I mean, I think when you look at Nick Foles, Nick Foles, the old backup quarterback, I actually think Nick Foles is a hell of an asset to have on a team. Um, but when I really think about it, kind of looking at some of the squads out here, I mean, you got to think that Deshaun Watson's going to move this year. And if he doesn't, is it like the end of his career? Because, like, if Deshaun Watson doesn't move this season, um, it's been 2 years since he's played a snap of football, and that's a little alarming. Um, little alarming, little intense that the Texans really held him hostage like that in terms of, not moving him. Um, Kirk Cousins, I think I've heard rumors of him being potentially on the move, which I think is a little unfair. I mean, when you look at him as a fantasy asset, he was way above average. I mean, he was a good quarterback. But when you look at him as a quarterback too, just over his career, I mean, he's been good. Not great, not like a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but almost like a Matt Stafford-esque when he was with Detroit, or almost like what he's been doing with LA. I mean, he's not like really like the greatest by any means, but he's definitely good enough to light it up stat wise and put your team in a good winning success. Ryan Tannehill, I would be very surprised if Mike Vrabel's looking at Ryan Tannehill like a 2-year player. Um, that would be another guy that I would say, pretty soon, sooner than later, is probably going to be being shopped. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Is there any other quarterbacks that are being moved? Any other players you guys think are going to be moved this season? Maybe not even just quarterback. And I have to disagree with Jimmy G. I think he returns. I know about Trey Lance and all that. I know the status on G are bad, but the win-loss record is where it's interesting. If 49ers go to Super Bowl, no way Jimmy leaves. I like how you think. Okay. So I'm going to start with this Jimmy G piece. It's gonna be interesting, right? I mean, this 49ers team, bro, like, I almost think that there's, like, half of this front office that does not wanna win the Super Bowl because they don't wanna be tied up with this, man. They don't wanna be tied up. John Lynch looks like an idiot, right? If even though it was Kyle Shanahan that was pulling the buttons here, he looks like an idiot if they spent all that draft capital to get Trey Lance and Trey Sermon, and neither of them are starters in the Super Bowl, right? I mean, that would just be a really bad look. But can you move on from a guy that brings you to the Super Bowl and wins it? That would be a first, right? I can't think of another season where that's happened before, right? And Rodgers at this point, man, is he damaged goods? Yeah, I mean, it's funny because like I mean, I think this is a little bit different than last season in that you're getting more hate from the media this season, less backing of Rodgers this season. And I get it. It's just the media. Who gives a shit what the media thinks? Who cares what Stephen A. Smith thinks, right? And yeah, I I 100% agree with that. But um, eventually the media starts to leak to mainstream, starts to leak to, just general sentiment of what the fans want. And I think to a certain extent, Rodgers is going to lose a little bit of his prestige. I think we first see that with the fact that I actually do not think he's going to win MVP this season now. Now, it could still happen. I think he was well deserving of it stat wise. So that's not for sure. But if you start seeing the narrative that Brady's walking away, Aaron Rodgers is just being himself, I could see the media giving that award to Tom Brady over him just because you know how it is. You know how the MVP is a media given award and it's narrative based, right? I think that's really where we start to see the fall off of Aaron Rodgers type of status and being in a positive light. And we're like a year out from 2 years out now from A-Rod being like a Greek god, like being the dude who is getting the Jeopardy hosting job, being kind of like on all the commercials. And, I just don't know, right? Like he just did some weird things over this last season that I thought was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious. But do teams think it's hilarious? Do players think it's hilarious when you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out? Why would the Eagles want a new quarterback, Ronald? Everyone wants Rodgers just because he's Rodgers. Yeah, I agree that, Russell Wilson could change the team of the Eagles, so I agree with that, and Ronald, I think Russell Wilson is, like, leaps and bounds above better than Jalen Hurts, but I don't know, I mean, like, 3 draft picks is probably what you'd have to give up. You'd probably have to give up at least for 3 first-round draft picks, and I think the Eagles still have a lot more to improve. I would probably put the Seahawks roster and the Eagles roster pretty comparable, um, to a certain extent, and honestly, less weapons for Russell Wilson to use in Philadelphia than he had in Seattle, obviously. I mean, he had DK, Tyler Lockett, so who knows there, right? Spencer, not a financial advisor, but buy Penn. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm gonna have to check that out. You guys all into that train, man? Dude, John's into that train, dude. He's into that train. I'm not as good at that train. Yep, the freshness of him being on a new team, the hype will be intense. They want one, but they will upgrade given the chance. And with 3 first rounders and a bunch of quarterbacks on the move, it's definitely possible. It's 100% possible. And I wouldn't be surprised with a guy like Howie Roseman in the Eagles' history, their consistency and not sticking to a quarterback, being very fresh, right? If you're not doing it now, you're not doing anything for me, and you're never going to do anything for me. So you're getting out the door, right? I think that's kind of what the Eagles have always been. Um, and it's cutthroat, maybe, right? But I do think at the same time, it can lead to success, right? And this is a winning organization over the past 10 years, too, right? I mean, they have gotten a Super Bowl, right? Which is pretty crazy to think about. Um, little Spencer love. I love to see it, Spence. We're going to be consulting you just for all the Packers sadness. The fact that the Packers lost me money, I'm a little upset with you. I personally put a little bit of anger towards you on the Packers front. I could see the Bucks kind of falling apart after the season. Is that crazy? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if Brady's gone 100%. They're gonna fall like a bag of chips in a Walmart, right? Crumble, crack, slam, right? They're gonna not go good. But I mean, even if they bring Brady back, their salary cap is a mess. I think they're gonna lose at least one, probably two of their coordinators this season, which makes a massive difference. And Bruce Arians, I just lost a little bit of like respect for him over the year. And even if Brady does come back, he does look a little bit less into it, right? To a certain extent. I just felt like something happened, a little bit around when AB started acting up and going a little bit off the wall. Um, I just felt like there was like this like different tone I saw about Brady. So we'll see how that team kind of comes back together. Wentz on the move? I hope so. I hope he's gone. I hate Wentz. Hate you, Wentz. I hope you're listening to this. I hope you're listening, Carson Wentz. Quarterback is the toughest position in all of sports. I miss Andrew Luck. Yeah, a quarterback is the toughest position. I will say that for sure. I think when you look at other sports, you look at basketball, it's very ISO based, like mano y mano. Am I going to beat the man next to me? But quarterback is like, I need to make sure that every person on the field is at a peak level, and I have to minimize the defense by putting them in a bad spot, and I have to be flawless on my execution all at the same time, and I have to lead a group of men who are sometimes older than me and battle the fans. Um, and I mean, it also goes in sense of like the pressure that's not even resulting on the field. It's a very high pressure job. I mean, if you're a quarterback in New York, I mean, your life probably sucks. Your life probably sucks. You have a bad game, they're treating you like dog shit. You can play bad and your team wins, you play good and your team loses. It's like a mind fucking spot. Yeah, yeah, it's one of those things too, and, like, sometimes the quarterbacks that do lose a lot, they get celebrated because they have these icy stats and fantasy's dope, and it really improves, like, their overall status, but eventually it catches up with them in, like, year 1 or year 2, people are like, "Alright, you're dog shit," and so it's like, you gotta be really good and your team has to be really good too. I think the Rams might be able to win the Super Bowl. Something I was looking at today was like or I was listening to today, it was talking about kind of the blitz percentages with the Rams and that combination of Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp, and the fact that, a lot of their success over the season, especially Cooper Kupp's success over the season, has been against the blitz. And the 49ers are one of the least blitz happy teams in all of football. They have not over the past few years invested a lot in the secondary. They just kind of acquire dudes. They don't really go out and draft big name corners. They beat you by just getting guys that can play zone, play a little man too, but then they invested on the pass rushing front, sending guys like Bosa right after you, stuff like that. And they're going to let all those guys sit back and pass coverage, right? So something that kind of stood out to me there was like, bro, I remember watching that team with the Rams and just how successful the passing game was, and how successful, obviously, I mean, most notably at the very end of the game against the blitz they were, but then the run was kind of holding them back. And I mean, the run did pretty well against Arizona. Obviously, Cam Akers had a much better game, but the Rams are going to have to be able to play a tough and dirty game against San Francisco. The over-under on that game was like 46.5, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's lower, because the way the 49ers are going to have to win this game is, Jimmy G is going to have to come in there, limit his turnovers, 0 turnovers. They're going to have to get at Matt Stafford with no blitz, so you can double and triple zone coverage Cooper Kupp, and then make Matt Stafford make stupid mistakes, and then also limit the run, right? I actually think that 3.5 point spread is pretty good, and I think the 49ers could potentially squeak this one out. I know Ronald was talking about it a lot, man, but I think there's a pretty good chance the Rams get in here and make some noise. I think Elijah Mitchell is going to be really huge, and that kind of plays a part of my like NFL playoff challenge. But the year before, let's see here. Oh man, Ryan Tannehill. Yeah, Ryan Tannehill, dude. I feel terrible for him, bro. We felt like he was like kind of the dude, right? At least fantasy purposes wise, right? We thought Ryan Tannehill was going to be that guy. He got that chance, right? He got that chance. I mean, all his assets were ruined now. I mean, no receivers, so give a little bit of respect to the guy. But in the playoffs, so kind of a different situation. He just didn't show up. He kind of did what he's never done throughout the majority of his career, which is just be a bonehead and make stupid plays. But I just think like Mike Vrabel is a really aggressive guy in what he's going to do free agency and offseason wise. And when he looks at, his current team, knowing Derrick Henry has a limited shelf life because he's a running back, regardless of the fact that he's like an alien. And he sees this team as being kind of like in the best place it's going to be potentially, right? I mean, I think for a lot of teams, this was kind of the year to do it. And if you missed your window, that kind of sucks. Like the Colts, for instance, I think this is a perfect year. But I think the Titans, maybe this year or maybe next year, are going to start looking at quarterback in the draft, or maybe take a shot on a quarterback in free agency. Because I mean, think about it. If you had a guy like Jimmy G, who historically has held the turnovers down, I think they could have beaten that Bengals team. But the year before, they made it with a backup quarterback. They made it to the championship game, and they've gone down since getting Kirk Cousins. Yeah, that's fair. I would like to see Russell Wilson to the Titans, but the Titans is such a small market. Dude, they were like giving ownership offer equity wise to like Peyton Manning to bring him in to Indianapolis. I mean, into Tennessee when he was a free agent. I mean, dude, Tennessee, it's a small market, but that place knows how to party. And it's a football town recently too. I mean, it's a good place to play ball, but yeah, it is a small market. Not a lot of trying to go there, especially Russell Wilson, who cares a lot about the market size. Any of the 4 teams left can win the Super Bowl. I think so as well. Bengals, I think, or Bengals and the 49ers, I think obviously the underdogs are kind of the ones not getting the respect. Um, I think when I look at like pathway to Super Bowl, I think that the order would be Chiefs, Rams, Niners, Bengals. Because I think if the Niners are in a really good position to beat the Rams just based off of scheme, based off of matchup, and I think they can do it. It's not who I have in this game, but I think they can get it done. And then you look at how they match up against against the Chiefs. I mean, I'm not saying that they match up perfectly, but what they do to kinda hone in that aggressive offense in the Chiefs, I think they're probably one of the better teams left on the market to do it right now. These Final 4 are really tough to pick the winners, and isn't that what we wanted, right? We wanted a really competitive, fun playoffs, and I mean, the fact, honestly, that we can get the Chiefs and the Rams in the Super Bowl, I mean, that's awesome, dude. That's so much fun. I mean, last year we got Brady and the Bucks and Chiefs and Mahomes, and that was cool, but we've seen some Super Bowls where it's just like, it's not what I wanted. It's not what I wanted. This year, I think if that worked out to be the case, that'd be a really good one. I gotta say, though, I gotta say, no hate on my guy Joe Burrow because I love Joe Burrow, but I do not wanna see the Bengals 49ers in a Super Bowl. I just don't wanna see it. I don't wanna see it. I think that was the highest rated Super Bowl of all time or whatever, which is a really weird stat, but I don't wanna see that be the Super Bowl this season. Cooper Kupp is MVP in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, you know how I feel. I feel like Debo's the MVP, but Cooper Kupp too. I mean, he proved to me how I mean, that dude's a bad brother. He is a bad man, dude. Like I like getting to watch just like individual film with Cooper Kupp, like so close up in such a high state game in that matchup between the Bucks and the Rams and just seeing like we literally said, right? We said on the stream, we were like, Cooper Cup's gonna light them up. And Cooper Cup comes out in two very clutch moments, has massive touchdowns. I mean, it's no surprise this guy was the best fantasy player you could have, right? Yeah, definitely MVP consideration for sure. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Yeah, guys, definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you are in the chat, if you're new to the channel. I think we've got like 10 plus people in the channel right now, guys. So come on in here. Join the channel. Join this guy, this big forehead right here, John Thrift Shop Gaming in the chat right now. Really appreciate all you guys coming in here and showing some love today on a Wednesday. I had a really, kind of shitty day today, and you guys turned it around, man. I mean, I'm having the most fun I have all day today. I'm a little under the weather, and you guys are just, you guys are like NyQuil, man. You guys are making me feel much better. So thank you guys for that. Nah, they could get Wilson for a first and Hurts for sure. I do think that Pete Carroll likes quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts, and so I think if you package Hurts into the deal, you probably wouldn't have to shift out all three, especially if he wants out. No one will have a better offer than that. Once teams know he wants out. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing too, right? Is the voice that these players are getting more and more now, which do stem back to LeBron James and the NBA, giving more voice to players, and the player movement. But when quarterbacks say they want out, bro, like they own you. Like they own you, they own everything, and they can just say we're getting out of here, right? Um, and it's interesting because like if A Rod were to do that last year, it would have been done, right? Would have happened because he didn't totally say it, he just kinda hinted at it. If Russell Wilson came out this year and said, like, "I'm done, I'm walking," you're the value of what you're gonna get in a trade offer just plummets. It just goes straight down. LOL, yes, please don't give the MVP to Rodgers. I don't see that happening, man, I really don't. Not as good as that train, but I do it for a living. Last 20 years, thank you. Don't hate the player, hate the game. The Walmart analogy was intense. Yeah, I just thought about some Doritos because I've been really in the mood for it. I'm also super in the mood for Taco Bell right now. Like really in the mood for Taco Bell. Whenever I feel gross, I want Taco Bell. So basically, I want Taco Bell like Monday through Sunday. AB was on I Am Athlete. Wait, was he really? That's so gangster. That's so like. Wait, I think that's why Stephen A. Smith was talking about going on there. Yeah, I think I saw that. And he was basically wasn't that where he was talking about like wanting to go to the Ravens and all that shit? Dude, AB is just wild. He's so good. Like I'm so John, honestly, I'm so glad that like when we started the catch, this happened so we always had something to talk about because AB gives you something to talk about every week. Spencer, I'm in college for finance. That's all I really do for school. Oh, I didn't know you were a finance guy, Spence. That's what's up, dude. That's what's up. Finance. I always hate when people say finance. How do you pronounce finance? Do you pronounce finance like finance or finance? Those are 2 different types of people, brother. 2 different types of people. I'll take a look, Spence. Dude, I'm pumped for these games this weekend. I'm super pumped. I'm super pumped too, but it's gonna be hard, right? It's gonna be a little bit of like a can you keep up with the divisional playoff round? Like, I don't know if we're gonna see another game like that Bills Chiefs game. I don't know if we're gonna see another game like that Bills Chiefs game. Rams got a shot to win the game, but they get tight when they get a lead. Yeah, they do. I think Sean McVay kind of chokes up a little bit. And I also think Kyle Shanahan knows his number. Um, for whatever reason, he knows him like the back of a book. I mean, I know they're good friends, but if I know you have a history together, Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay. But if I'm Sean McVay, bro, I hate Kyle Shanahan. Like I'm not talking to that man's. I'm not doing anything like that ever, right? Like I hate you for this week, right? Because I got to get this win. They got to finish the game strong. I thought that was the biggest reason. Actually, they let the foot off the gas in that game against the Bucks, and that's when they came storming in, right? They cannot do that in this game against the 49ers because 49ers can control the heartbeat very quickly. It's not that they're necessarily explosive offensively, but they can limit you, and then maybe you're just never able to get that spark back. 6 in a row. Yeah, isn't that wild? 6 in a row. The 49ers have beaten the Rams. I mean, dude, we've seen the Rams be good now for a while. I mean, ever since the Jeff Fisher days, right? The 49ers have had some bad teams. They've had like Nick Mullins, CJ Beathard. They've had some like really bad teams with god awful quarterbacks. All respect to my guys that I just mentioned there, but they have beaten the Rams. I mean, that is where you see coaching being the difference. And I don't know, man. Coaching does matter a lot. Allen Robinson says Titans. It's funny because gonna join Julio. Did you forget AJ Brown, bro? Did you forget AJ Brown? Or were you just trying to mention Julio and Allen Robinson because they're both the most disappointing draft picks of last season? Hey Spencer, Mr. Bro. What's up, Philly Mike? What are you doing, Philly? How you doing, my guy? How are you doing, Philly? How's it shaking? How's it baking? How's that lasagna cooking? Really in the mood for lasagna now too. So that's why I'm bringing up lasagna. What's up, everyone? What are you doing, Jerry? How are you doing? I saved all the movie talk for when you got back. Made sure not to get into that before you got back in here. Philly, holy shit, long time no see. Yeah, guys, thank you, Philly, for coming back, brother. Miss you, my man. Glad you're back in here. Sorry, I was studying the Articles of Confederation. It's because you're a noble man. You're a noble legend, Jerry. I appreciate that. What do you glean? Glean. I like that word, glean. What do you glean from the Articles of Confederation? Um, I haven't studied that in so long, dude. I don't even know if I could tell you what that is, to be honest, which is really embarrassing. Um, at Spencer, you missed his comeback. Dude, that comeback Philly Mike had was better than Tom Brady's, man. That was better than Tom Brady's. Nothing like Stevens seeing Stevens' big old forehead. It gets bigger every video, guys. It gets bigger every video, guys. So make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe because you want to see this forehead get bigger. As I said before, apologize for being immature and dipping in the league. Dude, no apologies, man. I mean, look at me, bro. I would leave the league too sometimes, bro. Just when you look at me. That was the problem with selling Wentz and Simmons. If you look at basketball, yeah, I agree. Simmons needs to be out the door for basketball purposes. I mean, be interested to see what Jerry's take is on Ben Simmons, but I think the Sixers are completely wasting Joel Embiid's career right now because he is a very big man and needs to be used before he gets hurt. I was supporting off my second account. Oh, there we go. There we go. Well, we appreciate that. As long as you're supporting us, man, we appreciate you. But don't be afraid to be up in the chat, bro. We love you, man. We love you. Someone give me 2 truths and 1 lie. I use it as my intro homework. 2 truths, 1 lie. Um, I went to Siberia. I was supposed to be the new James Bond, but Daniel Craig, I had to call him and give it to him to do a fill in. And then the other one is that I am a midget. One of those is lie, and the other 2 are truths. The other two are truths. I don't know if you're gonna know which one that is though. Finance. I pronounce it the right way. Finance. Good, good. I also like how you kind of spelled it out for me there because I was a little worried that it was gonna be hard to pronounce that. But yeah, sometimes you see professors spell like finance. Sorry, it sounded better in my head. Let's talk about Robert Pattinson being Batman. Dude, I'm pumped for this, man. I'm pumped for this. Somebody said in the chat the other day that it was supposed to be really long. I don't know how long it's supposed to be, but all I gotta say is there's never enough time for Robert Pattinson. Darkness, sadness. I'm getting ready to watch some Twilight as a pregame for my Batman. I'm very pumped for this movie. Steven, are you German? Because with that cut, you're giving a very 1950s German look. Well, that's a little bit better than an earlier time period in Germany for a haircut look, but I am partial German, actually. But yeah, the haircut is interesting right now. For full disclosure, right? I could be a little bit more put together if I put some hair product in it. Um, if you guys have any hair product recommendations, definitely let me know. Been using all sorts of kinds. I used to do a hairspray, right? So before I'd go out to movies with my girl or whatever, I'd be like, "Hold on, babe, hold on," and spray my hair. It'd be like really smelly. There'd be like all this stuff flying around. It'd be like really, really weird and embarrassing. I would do it in front of a large gathering too. I would do it at parties. Not a good look, guys. So I've moved on to Crew, which is like a hair gel. Much better for my you know, being around me, right? You don't get sprayed in the face with a hairspray. Did you watch him in Tenet? Dude, I really, really, really wanted to watch Tenet. And then I feel like it dropped when COVID first started. Christopher Nolan's like my favorite director. And so I never got to see it in theaters. So I was pretty upset about that. Um, and I never saw it. So I still haven't seen it. I know it's a longer movie, but I really did want to see that movie. He's part German. Thanks, Mom, for coming in here to defend the heritage. Wonder what the lie is. Stephen being a midget is definitely true. Yeah, it's true. I have a booster seat on my chair for the streams. So shout out Midget Gang. We are out here in full stream. So you didn't go to Siberia. I did not. I did not. I actually like couldn't tell you on a map where Siberia is. I feel like it's Russia, but it's got to be up north, right? If you stay until the credits, the movie is about 3 hours long. Wow, that's a long movie. It's a long movie. Also, guys, random note here, just while we keep going, football related, right? You know, I heard recently a cool idea for the football overtime. Speaking of long and everything, like because I want to know what you guys think. Like, what is the right way to do overtime? But I mean, is it just another quarter? I forget who I was listening to, and they were saying that, right? Just have another quarter where whoever wins at the end is the winner, right? And I like that more. I like that more too. We got to find a alternative to the current overtime system. Anybody here watch the Book of Boba Fett? If you like Mandalorian, watch it. I have not. I have not watched it. I actually haven't even finished Mandalorian yet, but dude, I love the guy in Mandalorian. He's a badass dude. And I am pumped to I want to get into it. I want to get into it. Cause like I was a little nervous about it, but Baby Yoda was so cute and I love the main actor. And I feel like this is like a really good franchise that they're kind of putting together now. So I'm definitely late to the game though. Definitely late to the game. Best hair product you can use is only washing your hair once a week. You know, Ronald, that is a good idea. I wash my hair a lot, like a lot, dude. Probably why I have a lot of dry skin too. I have a lot of dry skin. A lot of dry skin. You know, I need to do more stuff like Patrick Mahomes. Like you see Mahomes in all these hair commercials. He has really good hair, dude. Mahomes, I mean, obviously throws the best ball in football. But you look at, Troy Polamalu and Patrick Mahomes. I mean, they're in these hair commercials, but there's got to be a reason they're using what they're using. What are they? They're Pantene based, right? They're Pantene based. I've experimented with Pantene, but I mean, not to the level that Mahomes is right now. Your hair will produce it for you. I do say, when my hair is longer, sometimes I'll do it to just get a little thicker, right? A little more volume. I'm gonna start tonight at Spencer. Oh, nice, nice, John. That's good. No more movies with the sound off. That's that's always good. That's like some 1920s type of shit, man. Watching the movies with the sound off. You should try some Nair. It's pretty good. It makes my hair nice and thick. I'm all about thick hair, bro. I'm all about thick hair. Let's share a Waterloo thrift shop gaming. Tenant was so good. Dude, Waterloo, I need to try still, and Tenet, I'm very down to watch it. I really want to actually. I'm kind of underplaying the excitement I had for this movie. I was really pumped for this film, um, and I think now I'm like my girl doesn't want to watch it, and all my buddies are kind of off the movie grind. So maybe I'll just watch it and like just chat with you, Jerry. Tenet. I'll just watch Tenet alone or something, and just chat with you so I can have somebody to talk to while I'm watching it. Jerry, did you get your hoodie? It said it was delivered. So I didn't get mine yet. So I didn't get mine. Wow, I don't know what's worse. John not seeing Once Upon a Time Hollywood or Steven not seeing Tenet. They're both pretty bad. They're both pretty bad. I would say it's worse for John because John sucks. Your T-shirt is on the way, Spence. Yeah, Spence and Jerry, get that gear, rep it, wear it, send some photos of you guys wearing it too. I saw the midnight showing of Lord of the Rings: Return of the King on opening night, and it was the longest 3 hours of my life. A good 3 hours though, right? Good 3 hours. Lord of the Rings is pretty cool, pretty poppin'. Sweet. I'll let you know when it shows up. Boba Fett is on my to-do list currently. Is it Boba Fett? No, it's Boba Fett, right? Boba Fett. See, I'm not like I watched the new Star Wars, and I feel like I need to catch up on the old ones, guys. I'm catching up on this shit, right? Like I watched the new Harry Potter, or not the new Harry Potter. I watched the first Harry Potter, and I loved it. I liked it a lot. So now I'm just getting caught up on all these things that people did like 20 years ago. It's kind of me. I'm always late to the game. Like, sir, if you do not want to pay for Disney Plus. Oh, I didn't know they have like that. That's gangster. Gargon is his name, not Baby Yoda, Steven. Oh shit. I feel like I really disappointed some people right there. See, John is our local Marvel supporter and superhero, and yeah, it's not even superhero. So I'm just gonna stop talking before I get killed right now. Flixster just has some pop-up ads, but also free shows and movies, or free shows and movies. Grogu, I mean. Gargon. LOL. People randomly joining the stream. The title of the stream does not represent this conversation. Yeah, I know. I know. We're actually going to shift back here pretty soon to football. I'm going to try to do this share screen, John, so you know how that goes. Just wait till the NFL season is over, Spencer Stern. I don't want to spoil anything from Boba, but there are strong links to Mando. Man, Steven talking about Star Wars is raising my blood pressure. Gonna have to take a 5-minute break. Steven is what we like to call late to majority in the business cycle. Yeah, John always jokes on me because I'm always late to TV shows. Like I was like mad late to The Office. I'm about to open the package. Let's go, Jerry. Let us know what you think about that. And I'm gonna try to share the screen real quick and get this going real quick. Let's see here. Get it rolling in the summertime. All right. All right. All right. All right. What are we rolling with here? All right. So, gas. What's shaking? What is bacon? We are going to go over the NFL playoff challenge that we're doing in the Catch Fam. If you guys are not already part of the Catch Fam, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Become a part of the Catch Fam. We do lots of fun stuff like this together. Going to be doing more fantasy stuff throughout the off season, and then shit ton of fantasy stuff in the NFL season. But round 3, let's do a recap of round 2 right first. I had Mahomes, Mixon, Aaron Jones, Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase, Travis Kelce, Ryan Suckup, Kansas City Chiefs. Wasn't really expecting anything of the Chiefs, but kind of have to stay with them at this point. Aaron Jones, I obviously lose him, but he had a pretty good game against the Packers. Did enough for me, right? This week, got Patrick Mahomes, got Joe Mixon. Cam Akers is that only replacement right there. Interesting. Not too sure what I'm going to do here. I love the rest of this lineup. I'm expecting to probably lose my wide receiver 2 and my RB1 because I'm expecting the Chiefs and the Rams to win, at which point I'll have to do some replacements. Probably want to look at aiming maybe a OBJ. I think that's probably the best alternative here. And and on the Chiefs side, probably gonna have to try to find some sort of running back to fit in there. I've honestly thought about making a very risky play to get ahead of the noise and going and doubling up on the Rams receiving core and putting in OBJ here, just to get ahead of it to get the double points in the Super Bowl. But I think for right now, you got to kind of stay off of that. When I look at the other options here, and we're looking at kind of what is the fantasy outlook of these guys in the conference championship. Joe Mixon against the Chiefs. I think if they're playing this right, they look at the way Joe Burrow was beat to shit, man. 9 sacks against the Titans. You have to establish the run game. You have to have more line protection. And I think Joe Mixon in the run game has to be something that they focus on. Running the ball 14 times for 50 yards and a touchdown, that's not enough. That's not enough. Doing that against the Titans, I get it. They had Jeffrey Simmons. They got a pretty strong run game. But you cannot only feed this man, who's one of the best backs in football, 14 times. I want 20 touches out of Joe Mixon this week, Zach Taylor. Let's rely less on Joe Burrow. Let's keep the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands. Cam Akers, added him to my lineup. You look at Cam Akers, he had 24 rushes under 50 yards, 3 targets for 20 yards, but he had 2 fumbles, man. That was brutal. That was brutal. Those 2 fumbles crushed his status, crushed his draft stock. I'm a little concerned they're going to go away from Cam Akers in this game and give it to a guy like Sony Michel, who's been very established all season. But it'd be interesting to see what you guys think about that, actually. Do you guys think that they go away from Cam Akers in this conference championship game because there's so much on the line there? Or do you expect him to still get the workload that he deserves? I think Sean McVay really likes this guy. And if you're baking in that the Rams are going to win this one, I think you try to ride Cam Akers all the way to the Super Bowl. Elijah Mitchell, this was kind of this was kind of my alternative to Cam Akers and what I was going to do. I think Elijah Mitchell is a dude who could really be that guy, that gets you kind of the difference maker in this playoff challenge, because if you get him, you're basically saying, all right, they're going to beat the Rams, which not a lot of people are saying. But also Elijah Mitchell is going to see that workload for sure against the Rams. They've been relatively weak against the run game this season. So wouldn't be totally surprised if we saw a healthy workload from him and he got it done this week against the Rams, even if they do lose. But for me, I kind of stuck with it. Next week, man, it's going to be slim pickings. I'm going to have to be looking at Sonny Michel, Darrell Williams, Jerick McKinnon. See who else we got here. Mr. Kyle Juszczyk. Maybe I get a little Kyle Juszczyk action, right? But no, man, I mean, I'm real concerned. If Cam Akers ends up being a bust this week, I might be in a shitty spot. But I'm pretty happy with this. I mean, I think the Chiefs defense definitely has a chance to bounce back. Matt Gay, I'm happy to finally start this guy. You can play Cam. If he fumbles again, he's out till next season. Yeah, I agree. If he fumbles again, he's done. And it's weird because he had 2 totally opposite games. I mean, his first game against the Cardinals, he played like the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then, the most recent game against the Bucs, he played like dog shit. John, I'm going to go to your picks real quick, see if you've put them in yet. You have not put them in yet. That's fine. But let me know what you're going to do, brother. Ronald says, just play Mitchell. I'm not going to lie, dude. I seriously might. I know right now I'm not doing it, but I might be leaning to that closer to game time. Even if I think the Rams are still going to win. Man, okay, so maybe I can't see anybody's picks. I forgot if I can do that or not. Okay, thank you, Spencer, for saving me some embarrassing times there. I am interested, though, if I could see, I don't know why this would work, right? But if I could see the number 1 team in all of playoff challenge, you cannot. Okay, that also makes sense. That also makes sense. All right, well, I'm excited for the NFL Playoff Challenge this week. Let me know what you guys are doing, who you guys are starting, any sneaky picks. I think, Ronald, you've been carrying Elijah Mitchell now for basically the whole playoff challenge. So what you've got him and nobody else does. So that's what's up, dude. Mad respect there. All right, let's get to something else I wanted to take a look at here. Real quickly, fantasy related. Pulling up PFF's 2022 player rankings. I know we did a little bit about this earlier, a little bit earlier, kind of to recap the fantasy season, just taking a look at it. But just give a quick look, see if anything else has kind of come up here. I mean, it's interesting that they've got, I think they've got a very stable Josh Allen, Kyler Murray at 1 and 2 there, which is the same thing I have. And then you see that top 5 rounding out perfectly. Tom Brady, right? If Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers both leave, I think that's going to really shake up this top 12. One guy in particular that I think is right now on the outside of the top 12 that is going to break into the top 12 next season, guys. Russell Wilson. I'm going to be talking about him a lot this offseason, I think. Just a dude who I think if he does leave Seattle is going to be very, very particular about where he goes. And I think he's going to go to a system that puts him in a position to have a great fantasy season. I think a couple guys that are outside. So Trey Lance breaks into the top 11 too. That's another guy to kind of point out here for the 49ers. So they're baking into the mindset that Jimmy G is going to be on the outs next year, which we'll see if that happens, right? Because I know you guys are already saying that that's not going to happen, right? Jimmy G is going to be back. But I think if this guy does play a full fantasy season, he will be a top 12 quarterback, very similar to a Jalen Hurts, who they have at number 10. Justin Fields right outside of there as well. That one is a guy that I think, too, with Matt Nagy being out, bring in an offensive-minded coach, even though I don't know if that's exactly what they're going to do or not, and maybe invest a little bit more into Justin Fields. I felt like Matt Nagy never really invested into him. I was talking about it a little bit earlier, just talking about like one of the worst mistakes people can make is, not giving the confidence to your quarterback. That's what the Bears did, right? And we saw how shitty they were. A deep sleeper, guys, just for dudes that you're going to maybe take shots on in deeper leagues. Trevor Lawrence, Zack Wilson. These are guys that I think could also really make a big step here. Yes, I did say Zack Wilson. Zack Wilson showed a lot of fantasy skills that are important. His wheels are to be respected. The guy can move. I think they're going to continue to invest in the O-line this draft. They're going to get healthier on the O-line. Wouldn't be surprised if they spent some serious money on a free agent receiver. They've had a lot of rumors about Calvin Ridley and Chris Godwin. So I think they're going to put all the tools to help out Zack Wilson. Not saying he's going to be a top 12 quarterback, but I do think we're going to see a guy like Zack Wilson rise considerably. Trevor Lawrence, I think, with another year under his belt and a healthier type of culture, we could see Trevor Lawrence rise too. But I got to admit, guys, I was a little upset with what I saw in him. The squad isn't as bad as people think, in my opinion. Daniel Jones, if the Giants fix the D-line. Dude, I actually really like that take, Spence. Daniel Jones was a guy that, John and I were recommending him throughout a decent amount of the season this year. I mean, we had Daniel Jones playing in some games. I remember I think we had Daniel Jones over Lamar Jackson certain weeks. He's a very good running quarterback. He runs a lot. I do think the Giants are going to invest a shit ton into the O-line and try to help out Daniel Jones a little bit more. I think they're going to give him one more year to prove it. I think Joe Judge being out of there too, that helps maybe as well. And that would help anyways. But I think that'd be good. 2 first-round picks this year, I believe. Spencer, you're right. They do have 2 first-round draft picks, really close together too. If I'm the Giants, I'm investing them back-to-back on the O-line, but I think they're going to spread it out on each side of the ball. I do think that if they're smart, what they do is they invest your draft capital onto one side of the ball and invest your salary, like your free agent capital, on the defensive side of the ball or the offensive side of the ball, right? 2 different sides. just to kind of spread it out, spread your resources out. I mean, shit, think about it. If you invested your draft into their offense, into protecting your quarterback, I think this team could really go from worst to first or worst to second in that division, for sure. It would not surprise me. Going down the charts here, guys, let's go over to the running back position. No surprise, JT, number one. Boom. Here's a surprise. We didn't mention this guy at all. Javonte Williams, number two on PFF. Wow, that's wide. That is a wide. That's wild, honestly, man. I don't know why I kept saying wide there. That's wild. Javonte Williams, number two for the Denver Broncos. Definitely, not unrealistic. I mean, I think it's exclusive of Aaron Rodgers deciding to go there or not too. I think he could very well be a top running back. Top two? That's intense. That's above some really good guys. Antonio Gibson, number four. That's also a little weird to me. We're seeing this PFF thing kind of chart in there that Alvin Kamara slips, which I respect a little bit. I mean, sliding him to number six, I think is appropriate. Elijah Mitchell in the top 10, that's a little funky to me. Not sure he's going to be a top 10 back. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw that the 49ers backfield is completely muddied again next year. Leonard Fournette at 14. Who knows if he'll be a buck? Obviously, as it indicates here, he's a free agent. I think this is a really good back, though. I think wherever he goes, he's going to be in a good spot. Saquon Barkley at 11, still in the top 12, guys. We're talking about a dude who still might be a first-round draft pick next year. It's bullshit, bro. Stop taking Saquon Barkley in the first round, guys. Not until he proves something to you. Let's see here. Any other surprises that we're seeing right now? I mean, J.K. Dobbins kind of right around where he was going before the injury and literally right next to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, which is where he was going. Travis Etienne, I'm excited to see him come back here. Guy that is not showing up here, which makes sense. And honestly, it's pretty unfortunate. James Robinson, the other back, slips all the way down here. All the way down to below Rashad Penny, A.J. Dillon, and Cordero Patterson. This is really depressing because, I mean, James Robinson was an absolute darling for a lot of us. Zeke Elliott falls below Travis Etienne. Wow, that's nuts. That is nuts. Yeah, Ronald coming in here. Zeke at 22. That's dumb. I totally agree. I mean, while I think some of these backs offer a little bit of upside, I don't think Zeke deserves to be below Travis Etienne, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Leonard Fournette. I wouldn't put him below. Elijah Mitchell, I wouldn't put him below. Man, I can't wait till John and I get our rankings out here. Much better than PFF. Spencer talks about PFF equals good fantasy rankings. They better are in real life rankings. Yeah, dude, I put mad respect on PFF for what they do in terms of stats for football, the way they can break down matchups. I mean, what these guys do is nuts, but I agree. Maybe fantasy isn't their strongest suit here, but also kind of here, they note on the biggest surprise I saw is that, Javonte Williams should be an every down back next year. I think what you're seeing around a lot of these teams too is that they're beating the shit out of their running backs on rookie contracts as soon as possible because it's a position that just has a very short shelf life. So I think that's definitely what they should do. Antonio Gibson and Elijah Mitchell are another guys. I'm not convinced of a Gibson or Elijah Mitchell next season as a top 10 back, let alone a top 5 back, like in Gibson's case. But it's okay. I mean, I can see the argument for it. Be interested to see what you guys think. Let's put together a 4-team draft real quick. Guys, I was actually thinking about over the next week or so putting together another fantasy mock draft. If you guys are interested, so I'll kind of look into that. Talk to John a little bit too about how to put that together as well. But I think it'd be fun. Won't be able to do it tonight, but maybe on one of our live streams next week, we could do it. And maybe we can get a little crazy with it too. Get some trades in there. That'd be fun. Receiver, interesting here. They got Justin Jefferson beating out a lot of guys that I think I knew the Catch fam would disagree with this. definitely would disagree with this. Justin Jefferson beating out Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Debo Samuel, Jamar Chase. A lot of guys that I don't think Justin Jefferson was really taking the charts on. I know John's talked about his little, like, kind of the top 5 pre-rankings. But I can tell you this right now. Devontae Adams is going to slide if Aaron Rodgers is out. There is some rumors, though, that Davante Adams might go to Las Vegas with Derek Carr. I think he would do really well in that offense, do really well with a quarterback like Derek Carr, very accurate, guy that can feed a receiver of his level with really good efficiency. Cooper Kupp still deserves to be wide receiver 1, in my opinion. Debo deserves a lot, deserves to be higher than 6. Um, Interesting to see Deonte Johnson in the top 10. Guys, I'm telling you this right now. This is going to probably be a dude I sleep on a lot this offseason. If you have watched the Steelers and how they operate, a large value of Deonte was that PPR with Ben Roethlisberger. He's not really a game wrecker in terms of his size, speed. I mean, he's not a big dude. I mean, Chase Claypool is a better profile of a fantasy wide receiver. Deontay's much more of a slot guy who saw a shit ton of targets, which gave him such a good baseline. I'm in, may be able to organize a draft at the end of next week. That would be dope. By the way, guys, I'm working on a lot of shorts in the meantime. Make sure to watch them and hit the like on them. Guys, all news at this point. Yeah, dude. Shout out, John. Definitely the shorts are sick, man. I'm gonna actually start trying to learn how to put together some shorts of my own as well. Got a bunch of football stuff that maybe we do look at. Maybe that jersey shit that we were talking about a little bit, kind of looking at some of those jerseys. But yeah, that shorts will be fun. I was actually really interested in that. Deontay Johnson, fast as shit, Steven. I love Deontay Johnson. Don't let it seem like I'm saying something that I'm not. I like Deontay a lot. He is very fast. I'm concerned because I don't know if when they change quarterback that they're going to get a guy who's going to feed him the way that Ben fed him. I mean, that was a little bit why I was concerned about the PPR value of Najee a little bit too, because I mean, Ben Roethlisberger fed him like an animal last year. Jalen Waddle cracking the top 12. That's something I don't disagree with at all. A.J. Brown still top 10. We'll see if fantasy guys really come back there and draft a dude like that again after what he did to them this season. So much buzz about this guy, Amon-Ra St. Brown. And Amon-Ra St. Brown and Elijah Moore both beat out DeAndre Hopkins. Wow, that's interesting. Don't think that's gonna happen, but wouldn't be surprised if by end of season they do outperform him. Especially Amon-Ra St. Brown. I just started a Detroit Lions Madden season, and it was sick. I'd have AJB above both Deontay and DK. I know you love AJB, bro. You gave mad respect to him, and he came out and balled out against the 49ers. I want to see you spend money on Madden and create a good team. Dude, I know. I need to get these I need to get kind of like a streaming platform put together so that you guys can watch my Madden like you watch John's. Cuz that is really cool. Yeah, these rankings do kind of suck, but it is also interesting to see a little bit of insight into where kind of we're seeing these guys go. Gabe Davis, be interested to see what his draft stock's like next year because I think this is a Bills team that's going to invest in him a lot next year, especially with how he played towards the back half. Antonio Brown, we'll see if he goes to the Ravens. We're going to move through these tight ends quickly here. Mike Evans at 25, bro. I know, right? Mike Evans at 25. And that's with Chris Godwin being a free agent, right? That's nuts. Mike Evans is way better than top 25, dude. Way better than top 25. So Mark Andrews at number 1. I think Jerry would agree with that. I like Mark Andrews sitting right here at number 1 again. That's where he'll be for me. Actually, no, Mark Andrews is not number 1 for me next season. It's still got to be Travis Kelce. He's number 2. Mark Andrews is. Travis Kelce, number 1. I don't know why he's at number 3 right here. George Kittle. I don't disagree with this top 3 at all. I do think Darren Waller is going to finish as a top 4 tight end again. He's going to be healthier. He apparently was struggling with some of those addiction issues that he did early in his career, which is really unfortunate. So shout out him. Hope everything's getting better there. But I think he'll be good to go next year. I think he'll be good next year. Let's see here. Some other notable names. Rob Gronkowski. I mean, shit, dude. I don't even know if he's going to come back. Guy came out and said basically that if you had to ask me right now, I would retire. So I don't know if he's going to come back. Dalton Schultz, a free agent. Interesting. Didn't know he was a free agent this year. That's pretty wild. Number 11 right now on their projections. Dawson Knox at number 12. I think he's going to finish much higher than number 12. If you look at all the dudes that are above him, Schultz, Fant, Goddard, Freiermuth, Hawkinson, Gronkowski. I mean, dude, you could even put Waller and Pitts in this category. Like, Knox has a much better system in place around him. And I thought him and Allen had great chemistry. I think Dawson Knox is going to be the tight end I go for. What I'm looking for next year is a little insight into my fantasy outlook next year. Is I'm looking at a Dawson Knox, Josh Allen stack. I want that. I want that stack. And I like Devin Singletary a lot too, who I didn't touch on. I actually want to go see real quick where they've got Devin Singletary at. Because this dude, I think, is going to have a good year next year. They got Devin Singletary. All right, so they priced him up. They recognized what he did towards the back half of the season. Number 23, right behind Zeke, above Josh Jacobs, Michael Carter, James Conner. I like that. I like that spot for him, Devin Singletary. If I can get Devin Singletary in like the 5th round, that'd be beautiful. That'd be awesome. I would love that. Love Devin Singletary in the 5th or 6th, man. That would really give you a solid running back. I don't know if you're going to be able to, but I would love that for sure. Whoa, I did some pretty crazy stuff here. Let's see here. John's dropping 10K on Madden Ultimate Team. That's what's up right there. I'd take Goddard in front of Waller, Gronk, Cock, and Patty F. Yeah, I know you like Goddard. I like Goddard too, and I think with Hurts improving more over this offseason, got a good chance at getting that done. So I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Nah, that's clickbait video right there. Yeah. 10 on MUT. Fuck no. I take Knox much higher too. Yeah, man, you got to take Knox way higher than that. Dawson Knox, 12 is whack. Bro, I mean, think about where we're drafting him in like some of our early mock drafts. I mean, Dawson Knox is what, like a 4th rounder? He's like one of the first tight ends to go off the board. Man, we're just so much smarter. The Catch fam is so smart. So smart. I have zero faith in Waller next season. Interesting. I do. I like him. I like Waller a lot. I think he's a great player. I will say this though. We talked briefly about it once John Gruden did go, but it's really interesting that Waller kind of had his worst year, and this is a year that Gruden left because Gruden was super known to say that we're going to feed Waller like an animal all year long. That was like his MO ever since he became coach in the Raiders. So with Gruden now, maybe we do see Waller become less of a hyper focus of the offense because they were super easy to pin down offensively. I mean, you knew where they were going every game. Spencer wants Schultz on the Packers. Yeah, I like that. I think that'd be beautiful. I mean, if he got to pair him up with Aaron Rodgers, that's like a dream right there. A lot of signs he's on his way down. Tyler Higbee should be a bit higher from 20. Him and Stafford gained chemistry on the back half of the season. I agree. It's iffy though too, right? Because you think about it, it's like there's a world where they have OBJ, Cooper Kupp, Van Jefferson, Robert Woods, Tutu Atwell. They've got a lot of guys next season. Speaking of, where do they have OBJ ranked right now? That's interesting. Where's Odell Beckham? Holy shit. This is a misplacement of rankings here. Odell Beckham, 45, behind Kadarius Toney, Brandon Ayuk, Rashad Bateman, Cortland Sutton, Rondale Moore. Come on, PFF. You guys got to get better than this, man. Oh my gosh. Odell Beckham, what he's doing right now, dude. the swagger he's starting to get with the Rams, bro, they're gonna bring him back and he's gonna be a stud next year. He's gonna be a stud. He's right next to Corey Davis. What the hell is going on, PFF? Oh my gosh, so depressing, so depressing. This is a guy right here at the receiver position I'm excited about next season. Let's get him on his own team. Let's get him on his own team. Let's send him be the guy, man. Michael Gallup. Become a fucking superstar, bro. Become a fucking superstar. I believe in you, Michael Gallup. I believe in you. Who else on this? Why is Will Fuller on this list? Why is Will Fuller still in the NFL? I don't know. I don't think the Rams sign OBJ. Woods will be back. They like Van. I just don't see them paying what he wants. It'll be interesting to see where OBJ goes in terms of contract value, if he does want a high bid or if he wants to stay in the Rams, because I think this is like the first time he's ever been happy since maybe his first year or two with the Giants. But yeah, it's an interesting take. I mean, I'm definitely, you know me, I have historically hated OBJ, but I will put respect where respect is due. He's a large part of why the Rams are having so much success right now. Henry was a top tight end as well. John, dude, you loved Henry, I feel like all year, and I give you credit for the respect, but also for that kind of your analysis of him all season long. He was great. Kirk is too low. Gage is too low. Really won't be back. Gage just has to grow. Yeah, Gage has a lot of good underlying skills that I think put him in a good spot to be a better player next year. I do think they keep Matt Ryan, so it's not a complete rebuild at the quarterback position, which will be good as well. So, yeah, I think Gage is another good guy. It's a dude for now, basically 2 years you've been able to get value on just in terms of where he gets drafted. I think this is the first year you're going to have to probably draft him where it deservingly is. See if there's anybody else I really like here. Well, I tell you this, I love OJ Howard as a talent, but he's never been used correctly in Tampa. Can we just move him so he gets used correctly? Robert Tonyan, I think that's a real guy that steps out to me. 27 right now, coming off that knee injury, obviously. Spencer, what do you think about Robert Tonyan? I love him. This was one of John and I's favorite tight ends coming into the year. Very disappointing before the injury even, but I love him. I love him a lot. I love him a lot. Love him a lot. Let's see here. All right, guys. Shifting gears a little bit. Two storylines I saw today. Two quick headlines I saw today. Nebraska did not want Joe Burrow at quarterback, apparently. I love how Joe Burrow just continues to shit on teams that didn't want him in college. I put a lot of respect on that. Old LSU coach Les Miles said that Jamar Chase could not play wide receiver in college. This just shows you that it's not just us, right? That can hit, maybe misanalysis or misanalyze a player, right? It's hard to analyze these players. That's why you see people miss so many times in the draft. That's why you see some of these guys really become, breakouts later on in their careers. See here. Saw an article on NFL.com. 4 teams that they identified as being a turnaround. Number 1, Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, I 100% agree with this. I think that the Baltimore Ravens are a ideal candidate for a turnaround season. Baltimore Ravens will be one of my Super Bowl contending teams next year, actually, because what they were able to do this year with everybody that they had hurt. I think Lamar Jackson will get reinforced on the O-line and receiver position through offseason. I think the corners are going to be healthier. I think the AFC North is going to be even weaker, right? This is going to be a perfect opportunity for the Ravens to come in here and take a strong hold. Bengals are going to be a dynamite competition for them, though. That'll be a good rivalry next season for sure. Cleveland Browns, number 2. Don't necessarily agree with this one. I think they are in a little bit of a rebuild state. Maybe more than we want to admit, right? Because we do like some of those guys. I mean, we at the Catch love Mr. Dangerous, Baker Mayfield. We love Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Myles Garrett. We love a lot of their players, but I don't know. I mean, I think the Browns, are going to be a fighting team next year. Interesting, Baker Mayfield actually just jumped off social media today. Thought that was kind of weird. Thought that was kind of odd. Hopefully he's not hearing buzz that he might get dropped, and that's why he got off. Trying to avoid that. Number 3, they have the Minnesota Vikings. I think this is a really good team here. All season long, I actually had them as a team that I thought could have turned it around and won the Super Bowl this year. Maybe not win the Super Bowl. Maybe I was being a little bit dramatic there, but could have made the playoffs and made a deep run. New coach, new face, good draft. I think they could really make a difference. Number 4, they have the Washington football team, changing their name here in February 2nd. I think it's going to be the Admirals, but I don't know. I don't like this pick at all. I don't like this pick at all. I see them having to draft a quarterback this season. That's probably not going to pan out too well. Terry McLaurin kind of disappointed this season. Running game, there's question marks because of injuries too often throughout the season. Defense was a disaster. Yeah, a lot of question marks. I'm really concerned that Ron Rivera is going to be on the chopping block sooner than we expect. As much as I love Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio and what they've done in Washington, I think they're going to be the fall man for this. Jerry, what happened to Baker? I thought he was supposed to be this great quarterback. Yeah, it's interesting. This guy was so polarizing in college coming out of Oklahoma. I mean, people hated him, people loved him. I loved him in college. I loved him in Cleveland. I love him now. I love what he is as an NFL player. I like what he is as a quarterback, but he has not won, right? It's kind of like a Kirk Cousins, kind of like a guy like that who's just not really there to elevate his team. Baker's not ready to elevate his team yet. Would Baker thrive in a different offense? Maybe, but right now he's just not proven to be that guy. And if I'm the Browns, this is my last season with Baker. I'm trying to give him everything he can do to prove to me he's the future. But if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, and I'm off of him. Tyler Huntley is better than Lamar Jackson. Prey coming in here with the hot take. I like that. I was actually going to trade for Tyler Huntley in my Madden season. I got to get rid of Jared Goff, the Detroit Lions. So I was going to trade for Tyler Huntley. I like Tyler Huntley a lot. He deserves a starting job. I think he's still going to be with the Ravens next year, but I think he should be starting quarterback somewhere, or at least get the chance. I mean, the Panthers could have used him last year. But yeah, I'll have to agree with Spencer on this one. I do think Lamar Jackson's better than Tyler Huntley still. Now, a team that I identified as being a team that could turn it around next season, the Seattle Seahawks. They keep Russell Wilson. They get Chris Carson healthy, bring back Rashad Penny, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett back there. Defense is still what it is, not going to get that much better. Use the draft to bolster up the O-line, bolster up the D-line. I think that this Seattle team can get right back to where it was before. I think this Seattle team was a competitor for the past 5 years. This first year, they really shit the bed. It just so happens that Russell Wilson got hurt and missed the majority of the season, and Geno Smith was the quarterback. And also, is it a coincidence that this is the year that Russell Wilson said he doesn't want to be there, right? So, wouldn't be surprised, right? Wouldn't be surprised if the Seattle Seahawks turned it around. Carson's career is over. It's a type of injury that can't get better. If he doesn't come back this year, he ain't coming back. Yeah, I certainly hope not, man. I certainly hope his career is not over. I like Chris Carson a lot. I like him a lot. But you're probably right. If he doesn't come back this year, he could step away from the game for a while. There is not surgery. What was his injury, Ronald? There is not surgery. He has no cartilage in his neck, so the pressure is pushing on his spine. Yeah, he had like a really bad spine, neck, back injury. It was pretty brutal, whatever the hell it was. I remember that. I was like, oh, shit. When he came out, I was like, oh, that's awful. Rodgers retires. Wilson signs with the Packers and comes back to Wisconsin. Bro, that would be sick. That'd be super sick. I think Wisconsin might get Caleb Williams, the transfer from from Oklahoma. That'd be pretty cool. I love Wisconsin, bro. I love Green Bay. I would think it'd be cool to see one of these these teams shopping quarterbacks maybe do a big trade. I think that'd be cool. All right, guys, just real quickly before we start winding down the stream today, gonna look into the Senior Bowl. I was talking about it a little bit with Ronald to start the stream off, but Senior Bowl is starting up this week, guys. I think it starts on the 31st of January. Practice. Check out NFL Network. They'll be airing the practices. It's a great way to get to know these prospects much better. This is where risers come from, man. I remember seeing Rocky Sin, the corner for Indy, play against Deebo Samuel and seeing these guys just go at it in competition fuel. And you see a lot of these quarterbacks really make a name for themselves too. I mean, Josh Allen had a great Senior Bowl. Baker Mayfield played there. A lot of big name players play. And this Senior Bowl in particular, a lot of quarterbacks need to prove their worth, right? Sam Howell, I talked about him earlier out of North Carolina. This is the Baker Mayfield comp, a less elite, very athletic though, rocket arm quarterback out of North Carolina. Who had a really good year a couple years ago, bad year this year with less talent around him. Sam Howell is going to have a really good chance here to come into the Senior Bowl and show that he's got what it takes to be a top draft pick, right? And I think that's what these guys are really playing for here, right? These quarterbacks need to have a good Senior Bowl game because they can elevate their draft stock. You know how it happens in the draft when things get shaken up. I mean, these players jump up the boards at the quarterback position, even if they don't deserve it, right? And this is where it starts. They have a big game here in the Super Bowl. Carson Strong out of Nevada. This guy's got a beast arm, a cannon. Was listening to Jordan Palmer, big quarterback coach, talk about this guy. He loves him. Apparently, Carson Strong has like a personality very similar to Josh Allen. Very very goofy, very funny. Which hey, I respect that. I appreciate that. But on a serious note, like the NFL side of it, the talent side of it, the guy's got a massive arm. Biggest concerns with him for me is the mobility. He's had problems in the past with staying healthy, knees and everything. His knees are banged up. But he's a big dude with a big arm. And he had a really good winning career in Nevada. And I thought he had good stats too. So this will be a guy I'll be looking at. Not super high on this guy, but I can tell you this right now. We're going to see Carson Strong go earlier than we expect just because of that arm and that quarterback size. Bailey Zappi, Western Kentucky. I think this is going to be like a third-round quarterback out of Western Kentucky, but 5,900 passing yards, 62 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions this season. I mean, what the fuck, bro? That's nuts. I get it's Western Kentucky, but holy shit. I mean, this guy was crazy, bro. He was lighting up the boards, right? Guy's got a badass name. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy had a pretty good Senior Bowl too, right? And that's what you love to see with the Senior Bowl. You get to see some of these smaller school guys prove it against better competition. Kenny Pickett. Out of Pittsburgh, the fake quarterback slide guy. If you haven't already seen him do that fake quarterback slide, run for a touchdown, it was pretty badass. Kind of the trademark sign for him getting that Heisman nod. He was a Heisman candidate. Didn't win it, but he was a Heisman candidate, and he had a great season. He had a long career, right? This is a redshirt senior. So it's a little concerning to me that he didn't do anything really to his last year. But he does have great mechanics, very accurate quarterback, not that athletic though, not very mobile, but just like a Mac Jones and Joe Burrow really got his shine towards the end of his career. And recently we've been seeing these Joe Burrow and Mac Jones quarterbacks kind of shine, right? So maybe he gets a little bit of a bump to his draft stock just because of that, right? We've seen these quarterbacks that, they're not like the most athletic, although I would argue Joe Burrow is pretty athletic. And although they only played a year or so, they deserve to be drafted, right? So Kenny Pickett, I do think is going to go very high. It's going to be between him and Sam Howell, I think, that are going to be the first quarterback to go. And I think if Kenny Pickett has a big game, definitely could solidify himself as a top 10 quarterback, top 10 draft pick. Malik Willis for Liberty. Holy shit, this guy's got a great opportunity to prove to everybody that he deserves to be respected, man. This guy is a beast athlete. Did not have a great season last year, but he's fast, he's strong, he's big, he's got a rocket arm, he's got all the intangibles you ask for. Jalen Hurts-esque type of comp I would give, but more explosive, more athletic than Jalen Hurts too, which is pretty crazy. But I think Malik Willis is going to have a better NFL career than college career, or at least he has the chance to do that if he's put in the right system. I've got him mocked right now around Washington as being the draft pick. Maybe Denver takes a chance on him too. So I think depending on which offense he goes to, where he gets drafted, he could really have a good career. And he's going to be great for fantasy too, guys. He's going to be great for fantasy. Yeah, Ronald, I'm just real quickly checking the chat here. Malik Willis might be the best quarterback. Guys, I am pumped for Malik Willis, dude. I liked Malik Willis for a while because he played for Liberty, close to hometown, well, closer to hometown, right? And I just kind of knew of this guy at this small school at Liberty who was like a beast, bro. He was just a badass. And I put mad respect on him. And so I think he's going to have a good Senior Bowl. I'll definitely give you a recap, guys. No, he won't. Caleb doesn't want to come to the cold. Yeah, I think Caleb. If you're talking about Caleb from Oklahoma, he probably won't. He probably won't. I'm enjoying these Steven streams. Be nice to John Jerry. Yeah, I need some John in here, but dude, I really do appreciate you guys in the chat and like just being supportive, dude. I'm not gonna lie, I was very nervous about doing these streams solo. So it's been fun. It's been fun getting to get out here, and it's been great for my like relaxation too. It's been good to be with you guys. Desmond Ritter out of Cincinnati is the last one in this article. You either hate or love him. Desmond Ritter, he had a really good season, right, for Cincinnati. Cincinnati was very impressive this season. Got their ass kicked against Alabama at the end. Completed 65% of his passes, 3,300 yards, 30 touchdowns, and only 8 interceptions. I thought he was a guy too. That's a cool story. I listened to an interview with his head coach just talking about how this guy came up from the practice squad and made it all the way up to the starting job. He apparently just knows how to own a locker room. Desmond Ritter could be a guy that really runs up the draft boards too, just because of this guy's personality. I think when you're doing that scouting combine shit, where they start making this guy, put him up to the boards and say what's happening here on the plays, write out these plays and do kind of like this defense coverage type of breakdown analysis. I think this is going to be a smart player who's able to get it done well. I think him and Carson Strong out of Nevada are going to be able to do really well there. But yeah, guys, these are some quarterbacks to take a look at for the Senior Bowl. Guys, again, I will be doing a lot of recap on the Senior Bowl. I'm going to be watching a shit ton of it. I love the Senior Bowl. Definitely encourage you guys to watch it too. At least watch the game. Again, it's on February 5th. You guys can catch the practices and the game on NFL Network. It'll be fun. But if you don't watch it, just watch the streams, guys. I'll be talking about it. I'll be dropping videos. But with that said, guys, we're going to start winding down the stream, right? So if you have not already joined the Catch Fam, if you have not already liked that, hit that like button. We encourage you to hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Become a part of the Catch Fam. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, guys. We've got the best fam in the business, guys. We got such loyal members, guys. Everybody comes out here, every stream, every video, shows your support. We encourage you to join that Discord, get to know more about, kind of what we're going to be doing throughout the week. Get into these, fantasy mock drafts. Get to just know more about everybody. You can learn more about how weird I am. You can learn more about Jerry and Ronald and Johnny Boy. Yeah, man, it's been a pleasure tonight. It's been fun. I've had a kick-ass time like I always do. See, there's some love going on right now for John. Jerry, I'm going to send you dirty socks. Dude, don't play around with John's dirty socks. They're not good, guys. They are not good. You do not want to deal with his dirty socks. I lived with him. I know what his socks smell like. Although it sounded kind of weird, right? I was expecting the Polaroid of Steven. Oh my gosh, wait, I thought that was going to him. That's hilarious. We still owe you a Polaroid of me. We still owe you a Polaroid of me. Damn, we gotta get that. We gotta get that. We'll figure it out, Jerry. I promise you. Watch out, Jerry. John is probably really tired. He will just snap soon. Steven is Jane Scott's profile pic. Yeah, dude, that's actually pretty funny. My head is so big. I was not even the main part of that picture, but my head is still in there. Is that Mom Steve? Yeah, Mom is in the building. One of the most loyal Catch Fam members, too. She's been in the building since day one. Ronald is not wrong. Yeah, Spencer. All right, guys. All right, it's been pleasure. It's been fun tonight. I'm gonna try to get on here again at least one more time this week. Hopefully, even if it's just for a short amount of time, I might do a reaction to a mock draft and just hang out for a little bit. Um, got some Buffalo Wild Wings potentially tomorrow. Gonna get some wings. I'm excited for that, dude. I haven't relaxed, just like sat down and chilled out in a couple days, man. During the work week, I'm always so stressed and busy during the work week. So I'm ready for these wings and the fucking ranch and fries and cheese, guys. I'm really excited for that. Let's get some more movie talk going tomorrow. Let's also get some more TV show talk, guys. I want to get that going tomorrow as well. No spoilers, but good TV show talk. I want to get that tomorrow as well. And food talk. We haven't talked about food yet, which is crazy. So I'm glad we still have that queued up in conversations to come. I see chicken thighs coming in here. I had chicken the other day. All right, guys. If you were going to watch this video retrospectively, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Become a part of the Catch Fam. We talk about food. We talk about football. We talk about just about anything. We are the best fan base, I guess you could say, in the nation. We get it done. I mean, we got great members, a part of this Catch Fam. So come on and join us. Come on and hit that like button. Had a lot of fun tonight, guys.